This is Gilbert Andrew Garcia of A Tip from Gilbert, talk, inspiration, and prayer. Listen to my show every Monday from 11 to 12 on KWWJ 1360 AM, KYOK 1140 AM, KCOH at 1230 KCOH.com, Sankeet Radio at 95.1 FM, 1460 AM, and Latino Sports, KEYH 850 AM. Call in at 832-570-8075 and follow me on social media. See you then. In Harris County, this is Gilbert Garcia with another tip from me. Talk, inspiration, and prayer. And I've been waiting for this show for some time just because she's my mayor. And that's Annise Parker. She's on our show today. Welcome, Annise Parker.
Thank you, Gilbert, and you are my guy too. We're friends away from politics, and I'm just excited to be with you.
Well, thank you. And Mayor, it seems like every time we get together, there's all kinds of news going on. I mean, it's almost like I can't remember a time, and everyone knows that I manage money for a living, etc. Everyone knows I can't remember a time when the markets have been so chaotic and confused that every day we come in and say, what did he do now? What
he invaded a foreign country over the weekend last week.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God!
I mean, if I had told you, well, we're going to do this and we're going to be disrupting NATO and we're going to try to go annex forcibly Canada and we're going to try to destroy NATO by taking Greenland and we were going to go overthrow Venezuela, but we're going to pardon Honduras. I mean, you would have said, Gilbert, come on.
You've been smoking something.
Yeah,
I would have said yes.
Yeah, you would have said that's impossible.
It's borders on insanity, and it's not that Maduro didn't need to go and was a horrible dictator in Venezuela, and he's trashed the economy. But we lose all moral high ground, and it makes Trump's threats on Greenland and Colombia more real.
Right. Well, the other thing that gets me, Mayor, is, if we do this, then we've lost the high ground on talking to Russia about Ukraine. We've lost the high ground of talking to China about Taiwan, because then everyone's going to say,
Russia has more claim to Ukraine because it used to be part of the Soviet Union than we have on Venezuela.
That's right. So it just seems to me if the new wave is take over countries for their minerals and all the things that they have, their natural resources, it opens up a whole new era in world order. And I'm not so sure it's a good thing. I don't think so.
It is unequivocally not a good thing. But the other interesting part, again, talking about markets, I used to work in the oil and gas industry. I was not a decision maker. I was a low level number cruncher in the oil industry. And yes, Venezuela did appropriate or expropriate oil and gas contracts and equipment from U.S. companies. But if we were to suddenly flood the economy with Venezuelan heavy, dirty oil, actually, that's not good for Houston. It's not good for Houston oil companies, other than Chevron.
Yeah, it's just overall
very disruptive of the markets, for sure.
It's just disheartening. It's just disheartening. And I heard the Prime Minister, I believe it's Prime Minister of Denmark, say, quit threatening to take Greenland. Because you're going to disrupt and destroy NATO. Can you imagine that? I mean, if you think about World War II, and of course, we weren't there at that time, but the hard sacrifices the world made to prevent, an overthrow of another dictator. I say another, but a dictator. And then here we are. We had this world order for peace. It's been working, and now we want to just roll the dice and change it all.
Well, that's the way Trump has been governing the United States, too. It's as you said, every day it's something crazy and disruptive, and let's just break things and see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens.
It's like a toddler.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? I mean, and when obviously you were mayor, You were city council. You've done all these wonderful things. Can you imagine if all you did all night long was figure out, I'm just going to tweet this out to the universe? I mean, it's almost like, I don't know if it's an obsession or, but I mean, he just, I mean, I understand.
Well, he's a narcissist, and he needs attention, and I truly think he's lost his grip on reality at this point, and they're just covering for him. But the obsession with filling social media with his thoughts is really
right.
Now, I mean, I'm on social media and I put things out, but I don't do it every day, and I don't do it in the wake up in the middle of the night and
say, what can I do now? The other thing is sometimes the things are just a soliloquy. I mean, it's just a rambling. It's just long and rambling, and it's kind of like you want to say, well, get to the point.
And all caps and misspellings.
Yeah, all caps. Well, I'll tell you, it's very interesting. And so I'm going to make a small pivot, but I want to go back to some other things in a moment after I pivot, which is the other thing that strikes me, Mayor, is I know we have a caller waiting already, is I can't remember a time when a sitting governor just said, I'm just going to make an all-out go after Harris County. I mean, is that something new? Am I just imagining? I mean, now, obviously, you've only had like 2 or 3 governors in the last like 30 years because they've been there so long, both of them, and then going back. But I just don't remember someone saying, we're going to just make sure we are making Harris County blood red. Do you remember anything like that?
I mean, we have partisan elections for governor, but we haven't had rabidly partisan governors until Abbott. I mean, I certainly was in office when Bush was governor. I was in office when Perry was in governor. I worked and Abbott, and I worked. I could work with Bush. I could work with Perry. Abbott, when necessary in an emergency, I knew I could call on him. But this, I mean, Abbott's positioning himself to run for president. He has a huge war chest. I think part of the reason he's able to do this is he has multiple $1 million donors, government bought and paid for by billionaires, and so he has money to throw around. But just that's it. I'm a partisan Democrat. I'm running as a Democrat. I'm running in the Democratic primary, so it concerns me. But it concerns me equally when you can have someone who uses their resources in that way to try to turn an election. And why Harris County? All of the big urban counties in Texas have Democratic leadership. You know, for a long time, the governor and the Republican Party has focused on Travis County and Austin. Now they're branching out, and I think it's because Democrats are doing well here. We're in the ascendancy, and with a few, blips, we've been steadily gaining ground. And I think maybe he's worried about that. But I also think this is just chest beating and posturing for his presidential campaign in the future.
Very interesting. And maybe, I guess, Harris County is like the big enchilada, right? If you can get Harris County, you're going to get it all because we're the biggest county, et cetera, the most populous. So I guess that's probably a big part of it as well. But going back, let me ask you, first of all, I meant to ask you, how was Christmas at the Parker household? I mean, was it chaos like the Garcia household?
Yes,
I mean, was
yes,
it just like there's just always someone around? There's always someone's crying or napping or hungry, and it's just always something.
We were blessed at Thanksgiving and at Christmas. No fights.
Boy, let me tell you, in a Latino household, that's impossible. That's impossible.
But we had our 7th grandchild born 2 days before Christmas, and she was in the NICU for a week, but got out last week, and that was a blessing. New baby Blair, and so we really didn't get to spend time with her mom and her, but we had our daughters, other 3 kids stayed with us over the holidays because her mom was delivering the baby. And then our son got married on New Year's Eve in our backyard.
Oh, how wonderful.
That was wonderful, but it's also a lot of stress and a lot of work.
Yep,
and we had family come in from Madison. We have 3 adopted daughters and a son. And this is the 3rd child who's been. We don't have a big backyard, and I filled it with plants. But he got married in the backyard, and his new husband, who though born in the U.S. and a U.S. citizen, has family from Mexico. He's Latino, and so he had the full Mexican wedding suit with the cape and everything. It was a beautiful ceremony and was very, very nice, very sweet. But the house was invaded with people for a while.
How wonderful! I wanted to hold that thought. We have a caller already. Was there 1 or 2 calls? I couldn't quite tell. Oh, there's 2. There's is that Dom? Dom, are you there, Dom?
Yes, Gil. Thank you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Got me, a tip from me, and you got Annise Parker. What do you got for us?
Okay, Mayor Parker. There's one thing, 2 things maybe 3 things that impressed me about you. Number 1, if you remember, I met you in the elevator chamber in front of City Council chambers a couple of months ago. And the thing is, you presented yourself with statecraft, and I think that's what we need in government right now, particularly at 901 Preston, which is, of course, where the county judge will be has his office. Number 2, I believe, if I remember correctly, one day you found 2 young teenage boys near your house. They were homeless, and you let them in. You are doing something for homeless on your person, not just talking about it. 3, you know how to get the right people to do the right job. And you were correct in getting Gilbert, Christoph Spieler, and Alan Miller. Those 3 people turned around Metro. Gil and Alan were basically with the finances. Christoph was the one who instigated New Bus Network. And Gil, you're good too about listening to people.
Keep going.
People. Because one day I was in the office there, and you asked me straight out. You trusted me as a bus rider, Dominic. What I said, we got to move the needle. You were always wanting more customers. That was, you said that almost at every board meeting. And then you asked me, what about just starting from scratch? And I told you it was in that office. And I go, Jill, the metro system within Loop 610 is basically based on the 1927 Houston Electric trolley car map. We need to start over. So I think we need to, leadership, statecraft is also listening to people and getting the right person for the job, regardless of gender, race, what they consider marriage, whatever. We need the right people for the right job, and knowing how to get those right people to the right job and give them the space to do something. And I think, Mayor, with your background in city council for what, 24 years? 18 years? 18. I think 18. You were council member and then controller, whatever. You were mayor. So I think that experience. We need somebody that's calm and can do statecraft. And I'm for you for county judge. With that, I have no other comments unless you want to ask me something.
Dominic, thank you for the compliments. And yes, I try to lead with head and heart. And my first response is not to try to pick a fight with somebody and get in their face. Is to try to understand what their position is. I pride myself on the ability to bring great people in to my administration and to appoint really great people like Gilbert to head Metro and the entire all of the city members of the Metro board. But you also mentioned something that's very important and personal to me. So, yes, the son who got married, who is an older guy now, but he was 16 when he came to live with me. He's a young teenager living on the streets. And then during COVID, we also took in a homeless young man, slept on our couch for a couple of weeks until we could figure out a place for him to go. Homelessness and access to housing is an issue that was personal to me long before I came into office, and it's something that I worked really hard on as mayor, and to create a homeless system, a housing system where we could really move the needle. And I hope to get back into that as county judge. We're still leading the nation, but we're falling behind of where we could be, and I really want to work on that. So thanks for all the compliments. And the bus reimagining, all the great work that Gilbert and the rest of the board did is still bearing fruit. But I've been watching Mamdani, and I would love to see Metro go fare free.
Yeah, I mean,
I know you were interested in that too.
It was one of my dreams, and it can be a reality. Because the fare box revenue at the time was about $50 million or so, and
not insignificant, but not a deal breaker.
But that's right, not insignificant, but not a deal breaker. But one of the things we've got to get our hands around is, number one, is it the whole system, or is it just the light rail, or is it just buses? That's one. And number two is, believe it or not, the homeless issue, because having any type of fare creates a deterrent from people just like living on the system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I told you that, Gil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like it'll be interesting to see how he navigates that. But it's significant, but not a deal breaker. That's the best way to put it. Before I say goodbye to you, Dom, I'm going to make sure that somehow my wife gets that famous line you just said. Gilbert, you're pretty good too. So I want to make sure my wife heard that. Honey, I'm pretty good too. So
she's put up with you for a very long time.
Believe me, and I know it. So at least I admit it. But it's so true. Dominic, thank you so much for calling in, my friend.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have Isidro Garza. Isidro, are you there? Isidro Garza, are you there? Yeah. Isidro, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, now we got you. You got me. You got me, Gilbert Garcia, the tip from me, with Annise Parker. And I know you got plenty to say, but as you say the things that you are going to say, and I want to give you the floor, and ask any questions you have of Annise Parker, is you are a very international person. I'd like your take about what does this mean on Venezuela, and what is it going to mean for immigration flows, refugee flows, and I know you're very close to some of the administration there in Mexico and all the things that they've been doing to really stabilize their country and to make it more modern. So let me give you the floor there, my friend.
Thank you, Mayor Garcia.
Thank you, Isidro.
Judge, the former mayor.
I like the sound of that, Judge Parker. Keep going there, Isidro.
And Gilbert, in follow-up to the comment that you liked, Gilbert, you're all right, Gilbert.
Thank you, my friend. Just please remind my wife. Okay.
I'm going to hit three issues real quick, and I want to end with Venezuela. The first one is in follow-up to the previous caller. Also, is that just like Judge Parker has done in the past, I just want to make sure that people know that Gilbert does many things that he doesn't put out, and I'll mention one. There were 8 people that were out in the street, 2 couples and 4 kids, and from Venezuela. Gilbert was running for mayor at that time. We went down and spoke with him over there at the Hispanic community, and Gilbert right away said, "Isidro, what do I need to do?" And he footed half of the bill and they stayed at my house for 2 months, 2.5 months. One of them is a mechanic, an excellent mechanic, and he has moved out. He's got his apartment and a car, etc. His kids are going to school. The other one is an excellent carpenter, and his wife. Both of the wives are very industrious, and they're cleaning houses, etc. That's the image that I want people to understand. That Venezuela, the people that are here, we can't brand everybody as thugs and rapists, etc. And I hope that as we go through this process, that the humanitarian side is weighed in. Okay. The second thing is, and it falls. They all fall in line. This morning, President Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo gave a statement on Venezuela, and it's very simple. It's about sovereignty. It is about getting the people to decide what happens in their country. No one in all of the Americas has the authority and the right to dictate to others. That's why we say that we have a border issue, because we have the right to protect our borders, but not go beyond. That's the respect for each other's sovereignty. And of course, the President Pardo, Sheinbaum Pardo, stated we need a good relationship with the United States. I have a very good relationship with President Trump. I want to maintain that. But Mexico, based on Constitution and based on culture and history, we're absolutely against the invasion, the intrusion and taking over of another country. And that's going to be underscored today with the United Nations and other organizations that look at global issues. And so that is her position, and I think we ought to. Everyone should have a copy of her statement. It's about 3 minutes long, but it is very comprehensive, and it is balanced. And I think every American would buy into that. And then finally, a judge, you're going to win. We need you there, and just like we needed Gilbert as mayor, things would be much different had he won, and he will win if he wants it down the future. But absolutely, you do bring a judge. You do bring common sense. You've always been that way. You bringing the humanistic side of it, and it's not cold. And I want to add to that the previous speakers talked about treating everybody the same, race, creed, or whatever. I want to add to that partisan. Not all Republicans are bad. Not all Democrats are good. That's a corollary. And I've met recently a Republican that's running for the 38th, which is an R plus 13. It's a Republican district. And he is born in Mexico, dual citizenship, and he really knows the issues. His name is Larry Rubin. If you hear that name, at least listen. I'm 100%. He's Republican, of course, but he's got the issues right. So I want to end on that. And if you have any questions, I'm available.
Isidro, thank you so much. I think, first of all, I agree with you that we need Mayor Parker probably more than ever. And it's, again, I'm just a citizen, but when I look at things at the county, it seems to me somehow that the county leadership, which is the judge, has lost course and is trying all kinds of things and straying away from public safety, from things like flood control, parks, all the things that have been the bread and butter. And that's only one part of it. The other biggest part is at the horseshoe, meaning when they're there governing, it just seems to be, or has been, a total breakdown of decorum, people getting along. It just seems like we've got to go back to Mayor Parker's way, which is everybody's voice matters. I need to hear everybody, and we got to work as a team. That's what she taught me, and that's what we did at Metro, and that's because that's how she led the city. So I totally agree with you that we need her more than ever to really plug this lost time that we've had these last few years. So, Mayor, I don't know if you want to make a statement about any of that, but I really mean it. I think we need your, I don't know the right word, steady hand.
I am a Democrat. I've never voted in anything but a Democratic primary. I've been to multiple Democratic national conventions. I was actually on the DNC for a while. And in this campaign, I am focused on a unified ticket, but governing is different. Mm-hmm. Governing is about everybody. They are all your constituents. It doesn't matter who they voted for. It doesn't matter what party they belong to. It doesn't matter what country they came for. They live here. They are your constituents, and you have to govern that way. And you have to have a productive, professional working relationship with your colleagues in government. And I have a track record of that, and I intend to absolutely do that again as the next county judge.
Amen. Amen to that, Isidro. So, Isidro, any last comments you have? Any last questions for the mayor?
We're going to be boots on the ground for you, and we are, and we'll continue to be until you take the head of our county.
Thank you so much, Isidro. Thank you for calling in as you do from time to time, and we appreciate all that you do.
God bless you.
Yes, sir. I want to go back, Annise Barker, because it's hard to believe 7 grandkids. Is that what you said? 7
grandkids. 4, as I said, four adopted children. Our youngest child is now 30.
Wow.
And seven grandkids. And they could stop anytime. This is getting expensive, this is grandkids. But I think that we'll probably have at least 2 more.
Well, for us at the Garcia household, my wife, of course, Didi Garcia, who's in charge of the Garcia household, she's convinced that she will be the absolute best grandmother ever.
Of course.
After you, of course.
No, Didi, I'll concede to Didi because she's waiting. She's excited.
She's ready. And you know what? She's just all concerned because it's just like, it's just taking too long in her mind. But we're going to get there, honey. Don't worry. We're going to get there. I want to go back to something, though, Annise, which is Mayor Parker, is what do you see as the biggest issues right now? And so I don't want to frame it as what's your platform, but more importantly, just what do you see as the issues? The top 3 things that when you're elected, I'm going to do this, this, and this.
There are the issues that are facing Harris County, and every candidate ought to be talking about those. But then there's also what is the actual role of the Harris County judge, and that really is to move the agenda of Harris County. It is to make sure that the county commissioners, when they come together around their dais, that they are working together on issues productively and moving the agenda. They're passing the budgets. They're providing oversight, and in their respective precincts, they're getting the projects done. It is about communication and coordination and kind of knitting together the 4 precincts, and that's where we have failed over the last 7 years. And I know that I can do that. But then as a county, what are the biggest issues facing the county? I think it's infrastructure and primarily flood control and floodwater management. You can't build a life. You can't build an economy. You can't invest properly in a home if you're afraid of water washing it away, right, or flooding it out. And so we have to really think about how we can get those flood management, the flood bond projects moving again and back on track. The voters have allowed Harris County the ability to make major investments, $2.5 billion of flood projects, but that we're falling behind on those projects, and we have to get them on track. The other is just health in general. Harris County Hospital District is the provider of last resort for people who don't have insurance, who don't have any other place to go to provide for their health care needs. And with the president's efforts to push people off of Medicaid and Medicare, and then now We just started January, and all these folks who lost their subsidies under so-called Obamacare, or the Affordable Care Act, if they can't afford health care, they're going to end up at the public hospital system, at Harris Health, and we're going to have to figure out a way to provide those services. Those are the two really big challenges that we have to face. But then around all of that, we have more and more folks, and they are interrelated, more and more folks who can't afford housing, and they're being pushed out of the housing market. We have more and more folks who don't see access to good jobs and a future here in Harris County. So I really want to focus on housing and homelessness because I'm passionate about it. But I also want to focus on building the economy so that this is a place where our kids and our grandkids and their kids have a future. And we're falling behind. We're not as affordable as we used to be. We've lost a lot of our housing stock, and we're not putting enough of it out on the ground. And we're not connecting young people to the high-paying jobs that will provide a future. I mean, we have a robust labor infrastructure here with apprenticeships and opportunities, and they can't fill the jobs. And frankly, as our president has done these immigration sweeps and forced people out, our construction economy is slowing to a standstill across Texas, across the Southwest particularly. Okay, this is the time to make an investment. If we're not going to allow the immigrant workforce that we desperately need, we have to invest in our homegrown, our kids, providing them access to those good, high-paying labor union jobs. There's great apprenticeship programs all over the region. We've got to plug kids into them.
Amen to that. Now, the one thing about you, in my opinion, is there are tough issues out there. You just highlighted some. They're tough. But you have a record of taking them on.
I like to do. Give me the hard things. That's what gets me up in the morning. I want to do the hard things.
That's exactly right. Because when you think about homeless, I remember you were the one that started the whole sobering centers and those sorts of things. Because that's hard, but you got to get at some of the root of the problem. And when it comes to infrastructure, et cetera, you were the one that really put in the mechanism to get funding for paying down the debt, and it was complicated. Paying down the debt and getting projects.
I went to the voters the first year in office, and we passed, the voters passed a drainage fee, and they voted to impose this fee on themselves, and we invest in drainage. Now, and we also, as part of that, began to wean ourselves off of debt financing. It was painful because it's sort of like going from we were paying the house note, and then we decided we're just going to start paying cash, buy a new house on cash, and you have to build up the reserves before you can do that. So some projects slowed down for a while, but then as the drainage fee money came in and as our debt load came down, we had more and more money to spend. Now Turner came in, and he diverted some of the funds to other legitimate city projects, but he broke the compact with the voters, and he was sued over it, and that lawsuit was finally settled, so that the drainage fee money is back in the lockbox that we voted for and that we intended. But those are the kind of things you have. But the reason the voters agreed to do that is we were clear and transparent in what the problem was, what we were going to do with them. That's why I'm so frustrated that they broke the compact, because when you go to the voters and say, this is what we're going to spend the money on, you have to spend the money on that. People understand that government is not free.
That's right.
That services have to be paid for, but they want to know that when you make a promise, that you keep a promise. And I was proud of working on the drainage fee. Metro, when I asked you to go over to Metro along with the other board members, and there are county board members and small city board members as well, but everybody came together. Let's fix the system. And truly, while we added 3 lines of light rail while I was mayor, I am more proud of the bus reimagining and all the hard work that went into that, and your ability to work with Steve Raddick, who was county commissioner. And I don't want him to be county commissioner again, let's be really clear. But your ability to work across the aisle with folks and say, look, this is about all of our constituents, let's get it right. And you were able to do that.
Well, you know, what's interesting about Steve Raddick, I guess I didn't realize he's running for county commissioner, but it's not his precinct, right?
Well,
it's a different precinct?
It is a different precinct number, but, they've moved the lines
see.
and so forth. So.
Okay. What is interesting is...
We're not going to give him any airtime because we don't want him to come back.
I understand, but it is true that you got along with him really well. I mean, you were able to find common ground.
I will work with anybody as long as they are honest with me on what we were working on. And you have to be able to work across the aisle when you're in government. Again, campaigning is one thing, governing is something else, and a lot of people can't make that transition. But when you're in government, it is about what are the needs of your constituents and how do you get there.
Hold that thought. We have another caller. Is there I can't quite read that. Judge Audrey Lawton. If I said your name incorrectly, I apologize, Judge. You got me,
no worries.
Gilbert Garcia, with a tip from me, with, of course, former Mayor Annise Parker, who's a candidate for county judge.
I believe that the judge is a candidate for county attorney.
Yes, I am. Hello. Thank you. And thank you for having me on the show today.
Well, you're very welcome. Well, tell a county attorney, what is your mind then is...
This is the seat that Christian Menifee quit or stepped aside from in order to run for the 18th.
Well, let me ask you this then, Judge. What do you see as the role of the county attorney? Because, and I'm just a citizen, so I'm just going to give you my opinion. It used to be somewhat of a sleepy position. Christian Menifee kind of really brought it forward and tried to do and he did a lot of great things. What do you see? I mean, are you going to be kind of activist like that? Are you going to be more what it had been? Or are you going to be something in between? But what do you see as the top 2 or 3 things that you want to accomplish there?
All right. Well, as you may know, the county attorney is the chief civil legal officer, right, for the county. And so, in addition to some of the wonderful things that Christian Menifee has done as far as raising the profile of the office actually touches all aspects of county government, right? So the office, we represent, I kind of view it as the people's law firm. We represent the residents of Harris County. We represent them in many ways, but some of the things that I think I want to highlight are our consumer division, where we can fight corporations and scammers who are targeting our working families. There's also a environmental section, which I would use to fight polluters who are putting our lives at risk just to make a profit. And then, of course, you guys see all of the attacks that are happening, some from the federal level, some from the state level, and some here in Harris County, as far as voting rights and making sure that our residents have the right to vote in every election, and that our rights are not suppressed.
Well, let me ask you this, Judge. And I'm going to throw this to both you and Mayor Parker. All this hubbub about Harris County and scams and elections, I mean, it just seems to be a whole lot of hooey, right? I mean, is there really an issue about illegal voting really here in Harris County? It doesn't seem like it to me. And, all I hear are these things, we got it because there's all this fraud. Is there really? No,
and not across the country either. There is a very small amount of. Usually, it's like a spouse voting for their spouse, or parents not there and they fill in an absentee ballot or something. It's very, very rare across the country. It is a completely made up issue, but the Republicans have changed our access to the ballot in response to this manufactured issue, because the more of us who vote, the fewer of them who get elected. I jumped in there.
No. It's for both of you.
Frustrated about it.
It all goes back to we got to have more evidence when people make claims, because there's these claims that are just so far fetched, and it just gets in the minds of people without even knowing. But let me just ask you this, Judge. I'm going to give you one more minute. Anything else you want to mention to Mayor Parker?
Oh, well, hi, Mayor Parker, or I guess candidate now.
Yeah, Judge Parker. You can say it. I'll say
See,
it.
like we both get to keep our titles, even when we.
Yes. I think that, the main point I want to get across is that county government is, here to serve the residents of Harris County. And so what does that look like? That means that, both Mayor Parker as well as myself are running for these positions so that we can fight for the rights of the Harris County residents. Whether that, takes place in Commissioner's Court, whether that takes place at the county attorney's office, we need active participants. And so I know that you will get that of me, as the new, as your new Harris County attorney. I'd hope that if Mayor Parker is elected, that we would be able to work well. I mean, that is one of the other functions of the county attorney's office, would be to work directly with the commissioners as well as the county judge.
Well, Judge, thank you so much for calling in, and feel free to call in again.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Happy New Year. And you guys make sure you come out and vote on March the 3rd, 2026.
Very
Vote
good.
for Audrey Lawton Evans for Harris County Attorney.
Thank you so much, Judge.
We have two really great choices for county judge. There are two other people. I would say for county attorney. There are two other people who are running in my race. There are two people in the race for county attorney. We ought to be grateful that people are willing to stand up and step up and move into these positions. I am confident of my path to victory. Judge Lawton has a little bit more challenging path. Current Councilmember Abby Kamen, who vacated her seat in order to run for that, is in that race with her. But we'd be well served with either one of those. We have some great candidates in the Democratic primary, but people have to show up and vote and get engaged. We have an open primary system here in Texas, so anyone can vote in the primary. You don't have to register in advance. It is about showing up for early vote or showing up on Election Day on March 3rd and voting for the absolute best candidate to lead us going forward. And I respect my opponents, but I also want to thank everybody who is willing to put themselves out there. Gilbert, you have run for office before. It is hard work. It is it's wonderful and horrible at the same time, because you have the opportunity to go and interact with people across the community, and you get to see the real needs. You know how important it is to have good leadership, and if you know that you're the best person to provide that leadership, but it doesn't always work either. So it's not a meritocracy, and so we have to just keep plugging away to make our democracy better.
One thing that struck me when I ran, and everybody knows I ran, is how big Houston is and how big the county is. I mean, it's enormous, Mayor. And most people don't know until you really...
5 million people in the county, 2.3 million people in the city of Houston.
I mean, but until you...
Bigger than a number of states, bigger than 25 states.
I mean, that's unbelievable. When you frame it that way, and when you think about the responsibility of representing all these people. But I just found it amazing when I started driving around the city and talking to groups how enormous it is, and how diverse. And I don't necessarily...
And the needs are different in different parts of the community.
Yeah, and not just diverse. When we hear that word, we think of ethnic diversity, but I mean everything. Socioeconomic, where the background, everything. I just found it so fascinating, and I enjoyed it. I had a blast running, and I had a blast learning.
That's because you're a total extrovert. I'm an introvert, so I have to make myself. But I mean, it's not that I don't like people, and I like to sit and listen and learn from them. But then it's that getting out there. That's the hard thing.
Well, going back, the reason you knew so much about solving the issue of raising the funds to take on infrastructure and drainage is because of your accounting background, when you really think about it. And that goes back to your
budgets are moral documents. What you put the money in is what you value. And you cannot build a house on a bad foundation. Infrastructure is the foundation on which a city is built.
So it all goes back to, Mayor, in my opinion, is if you look at your resume, and your resume is so long, and it's
That makes you sound really old now.
no, I don't mean it like that. No, what I mean is,
Yeah.
no,
It's been a voting community for a long time.
For a long time.
Yes.
And when I hear people say this or that, I'm like, wait a minute. Mayor Parker's been on city council. She's been doing things, doing big budgets, all these things before many of them were even born.
I was a civic club president for a long time. That's how I became a council member, is because I had been I was a community development organization president. I was a United Way volunteer. I was doing things in community. In fact, that is my baseline when anybody asks me to support them for a political office. What have you been doing as a volunteer? And if you haven't been doing anything as a volunteer, then you don't need to be in office.
That's right. Well, you have really, in my opinion, earned the people's vote and support. We're going to go to another caller here. Is there I see someone wants to talk about early voting. Is there an Ernie there?
Good morning.
Ernie. Is this Ernie, as in Ernie?
Ernie Pena Sandoval.
There you go. Ernestine, you got me, Gilbert Garcia, with Annise Parker, a tip for me. What do you got? And by the way, tell us everything. Hopefully you got it there. Of when is early voting? When is everything? And if you can, try to decipher this whole CD 18 and all that, how that voting is going to go. I know it's in January, etc. Try to walk us through it.
Well, good news is I sent you a list, Gilbert, of all the locations where you can early vote.
Well,
And so that's important.
Let me stop you there. Are they the same as regular voting, or they're different?
They're different.
Okay, keep going.
There are less locations.
Okay, keep going.
There's only 18 locations, and I appreciate Mayor Parker so much because she continues, as she's out there running, she's more focused on trying to get people to vote in general, not just for her. She's very unselfish in her communication to the public, and I applaud her for that.
Thank you.
So when
I also want to
you go ahead, you go. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I also want to tell you that the early voting is from January 21st through the 27th. The actual day for the Senate race is going to be January 30. This is very important because
Congressional
18, as you know, the district is really volatile right now. They have no one representing them. This is a very undue process when it comes to covering the needs of the community. And so we really need to have voting taken advantage of. Do your due diligence as a community and focus on getting this office filled with the right person.
Let's hold on real quick, because let me just clarify something. So CD 18, the Congressional District 18, that is to replace, of course, Mayor Turner, of course, who really replaced Sheila Jackson Lee, who was there for quite some time. That has a runoff. There are two candidates, Christian Menifree and Amanda Edwards, both good people. They are running January 30th, is that correct, Mayor Parker?
Yes.
Or Ernie? So January 30th, and that's to fill the term that will run through the end of this year.
Correct.
Okay. And then the open primary for that position, as well as the county judge, et cetera, is going to be early vote when?
The early voting is going to be January 21 through the 27th.
Okay, and then that
That is for the January 30th
That's-
runoff.
okay.
The early voting is in February for the March 3rd
Okay.
primary.
That's what I'm trying to get my hands around. Okay, so
Correct.
So the early voting you were talking about is for the congressional seat 18 to fill that term. What we're talking about now, I'm going to pivot, is the open primary, which relates to Mayor Parker's position, et cetera, is going to be in March, and that early voting is not till February.
Right.
Okay, did I get
Correct.
that right? Okay, I know that's a mouthful. And you know what?
They are making it.
It-
The governor went out of his way to make it challenging to fill the 18th. He dragged it out. Then he delayed the runoff so that there's a long gap between the general election and the runoff, and it's at an odd time. And so the only thing on the ballot on January 30th will be the 18th congressional district. So those are the only folks who can vote in that.
And are
On
they?
that.
Correct.
And let me ask you this, Mayor Parker: so those two candidates, are they going to be candidates also on the ballots, win or lose or draw on January? For
Yes,
March?
they have both filed for the March primary, and incumbent Al Green in the next district over. He wasn't the incumbent in the 18th, but Al Green has also filed in that race. So yes, they'll be running against each other throughout the year.
Can you imagine, Mayor Parker, they're really running for like 5 times or something. I mean, no, I'm exaggerating, but I'm really not. They're just running, and it's just so frustrating.
Because the Republicans changed the map in Texas, and they changed the lines, and they threw Al Green's district into the 18th, and it's just designed to make it more and more challenging for Democratic voters to select the people that they most want to represent them.
So everyone
And
who's
it's designed to make people frustrated and not want to vote. That's
Correct.
the issue
Correct.
too.
well, and to confuse. I think it's also
Exactly.
to confuse, because I'd like to think of myself as an educated person, and I'm confused. And if I'm confused, well, my goodness, then probably everyone's confused. But Ernie, what else do you got for us? Anything else going on?
I do. I want to let y'all know that with this new year, we always have the Houston Marathon. And I want to put an eye on the I Can Alliance people. This is a diverse group of community with disabilities. These are blind athletes running this weekend in the Houston Marathon. Can you imagine? I can't barely run, much less run blind. Can you imagine?
I mean, I can't imagine. I mean,
I would, and we want to invite you to a special dinner that we're doing for the blind runners and their coaches and sponsors. It's going to be at the First Presbyterian Church right there on the corner of Bissonnette and Main. And we want to extend the invitation to our table for you and Mayor Parker. Please join us. It'll be a lovely dinner at 6. We're really just commending the actual athletes that will be running. And these people will be on TV with exposure to show the importance of sponsors who have really given their time to help. And I applaud your staff, Gilbert, because I know Don Elsenbrock has been supporting I Can Alliance for a long time. And
Oh, how
I
wonderful.
applaud him because this is a unique group of people, and it's very tough to see these people. You get very, you feel like, oh my God, I got to do more. I have to do, I mean, it's so inspiring, Gilbert. It is inspiring to see these people get up and take the chance as athletes. And even if they fail or fall down, there's someone there to pick them up. And I applaud the Houston Marathon group for having them in a separate section so that they are safe.
give us
and
that.
it's
And they run with partners.
Is that right?
They run
Yes.
with partners. They are connected to partners, and so not only does the runner have to complete that marathon, but their partner does too, and they train together
Wow.
in pairs and run in
Wow.
pairs.
And ask, I mean, one more time, Ernie, what day is that? You said 6 p.m.
It's Friday at 6 p.m. at First Presbyterian Church. They've donated the space and food for the event, and it's about 250 people. But we'll save you a seat, both of you, and we'll save you a T-shirt. The most important thing is to come out and congratulate these people, because we will have someone from the city of Houston coming to bring a proclamation. We will do the proper things, but I think having leaders like you in the mix, and your wife has been amazing in eye care in general for all of her life. And so this I Can Alliance is something I know close to her heart. So I just want to applaud you both for being leaders that you are, and recognize the importance of diverse community with disabilities. And we just need to support them as much as we can.
And it's this Friday?
It's this Friday, and
Okay.
it's a
Well, and everybody needs to
dinner
get out
from
on the
6 to 8:30.
and everybody needs to get out on the marathon route Sunday morning
Yeah.
and cheer on the runners. But also, you need to be aware of where the route is so that you can make your plans accordingly to get across the city. They're actually it's going to be, I guess, I haven't looked at the weather, but if it's like it is now, it's going to be a little warm for a marathon.
Well, you know what though, but I'd rather be warm than cold.
No, they like that cold.
Do they really?
The elite runners like
Okay.
that cold weather.
Well, Ernie, do me a favor. I want to make a $1,000 contribution to this group. So if you could just send me that information, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to make sure they know that is because you talked about it on the air today.
We will definitely, and that's applaud you again, Gilbert, because your kindness is very important to the community. And what's more important too is that we reach out to diverse groups, and this is definitely a unique group of people.
Well,
and we hope to see you Friday.
Yeah,
I'll send you the information.
Yeah, and I'll
Thank
let you know on that. But please give me the information to make that contribution. I want to make sure I get it in today.
Thank you, and please pass out that list of locations to vote, because there is about 16 to 18 different zip codes.
I will do that. Thank you so much, Ernie. Thank you for calling
Thank
into
you,
the show.
Mayor. It's always
you.
great to see you and
Thank
talk
you.
with you.
Bye-bye.
Something eye care is near and dear to me, and without going into it all, because I want to make sure I give you the last word here, Mayor Parker, is I went to L.A. in California and volunteered with this actress that was on the show Spartacus, because she, when she's not doing acting, is always donates her time to this eye clinic. And that's how she and I became good friends, because of Dee Dee, et cetera. And the bottom line is I would go. And this is an extraordinary group because they take these children that don't really have the means, and the majority of them are Hispanic or African American, and they do them from the very beginning, from the whole glaucoma exam to refracting, et cetera. And they right on the spot give them glasses. And I tell you, if you want to just, it's heartbreaking, but yet it's uplifting to see a child, see for the first time. I mean, because these are like 4 or 5 years old, and they don't know that they can't see because they don't know any better. And then all of a sudden they can see. Most incredible experience I've ever had.
I have
You know what I'm
been
saying?
involved. We have a program here in Houston called See to Succeed. It is through the City of Houston Health Department. We work with the school. We do exactly
Really?
that same thing.
Oh, I want to get involved with
through
that.
volunteer. You absolutely, and it is transformative. I've worn glasses since I was 12 years old, and I understand how transformative it can be. But these are little kids, and just the world opens up.
That's right.
For them,
because they don't know that they can't see, and I'm sure
but
that.
and it causes discipline problems in school, and they begin to fall behind, and it's something so simple. So yes, the City of Houston Health Department works with the school districts to do that. These are great programs.
Awesome. Well, Mayor, you're going to have, it's hard to believe. It's already an hour. It's like Carol Burnett. I'm so glad we had this time together, but it's time to say
Don't sing, Gilbert.
I know. I know. But Mayor, you have the last word. You know your cameras, and I really want to thank you. And I'm going to have you back between now and March for sure. So take it away.
Anybody who's listening clearly cares about this community and our future. My message is very simple, and that is that democracy only works when all of us participate, and our community only thrives when all of us put our efforts together to make it better. I'm running for county judge because I know I can do this job, and I know I can do it well, and I can do a good job for Harris County, but I can't do that job if you who are listening to this aren't also engaged. It is not about me or any of the other candidates out there going in and solving all the problems. It is about going in and opening the doors and working with community so that we can solve problems together and make it better for everyone. I appreciate this opportunity to talk to you today, and I always love coming on Gilbert's show and getting my tips from Gilbert. But we have to do this together. We all live here together. We rise and we fall together. And I'm looking forward to serving you and working with you together. Thanks.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, Houston, Harris County, you heard it here first on a tip from me, Talk Inspiration Prayer with Mayor Annise Parker, soon to be Judge Parker. You heard it here first. This is Gilbert Garcia saying, we'll see you next time. All right, Houston, Harris County, this is Gilbert Garcia of A Tip from Gilbert, Talk, Inspiration, and Prayer. We're going to now be on television. We will air every Saturday on Comcast 17, AT&T Channel 99, Phonoscope Channel 96, Suddenlink 99, and also hmstv.org. Every new episode every Saturday at 7 p.m. And follow me on social media. See you then.